How you doing? My name is Kit Chatham. I'm currently the drum set percussionist for Cirque du Soleil's Corteo, and I'm going to tell you a little bit what I do in the show and what I've been doing to get to where I'm at. What got me big into where I'm at right now with theatrics and playing everything is the show called Blast, and a show therefore after it is Cyber Jam. So with Blast, I was a snare drum soloist, percussionist, featured, and really got me involved with being on stage, really exploring space and acting and really focusing on being a performer, entertaining the crowd, since that's what they pay money to come see. They want to come see an exciting show. They want to come see you do things that they've never seen before in a crazy and exciting way. So that really helped me, and then especially when I got the gig with Cirque du Soleil, it really helped me out becoming a clown and really expressing myself in a crazy and exciting way. I was so involved with drum set at the very beginning, then I was like, oh man, I see this new exciting instrument. What is it? I gotta learn it. Oh my gosh. So I'd go and try to get with somebody and study with it, and a lot of it was, kind of just learn by trial and error. I'd go and try it, and I'd kind of find my own sound and my own ways of playing it, and then I would go and with a teacher, and they would do more of a formal style training on, like different, congas, timbales, African drumming with sabar, djembe, tabla, different, so I was just trying to get all that, and then I was always coming back to drum set, because drum set was always a great outlet where if I had one of those days and I was coming home and I was like, man, okay, so I jumped behind the drum set, just throw down some like grooves, and it made me feel good. So. Since I did a lot of and I had a lot of the creative freedom in the show, but I kind of had to do it all, and everything I do, from drum set to ethnic percussion to marching percussion that I do in the show to electronic percussion, I had to know it all to do the show. And of course, that helps me create new sounds, and my experimentation on different things really helped come up with different soundscapes to use for the show and to use for my playing everywhere. Keeping with the whole theme of the show, it's not so much all drum set based. I do that for pretty much half the show, but then the other half, giving a good description, it's really organic. So keeping to the authentic and very almost acoustic, keeping it as acoustic as possible in the sounds with my different world percussion. So I'll get a lot of, dabake, djembe, like other instruments, like I said before, and keeping it as almost primal and as organic as possible. So it really creates and really helps, strengthen the actual theme of the show, which is kind of stepping back in time and keeping things all real human nature and all simple and real simplistic. My setup is really set up so that everything's ergonomic and I can get to it really fast, and even that I can play many things at once. We'll start at the back of my setup. Right here I have 3 congas. I use this on a little bit part of the tune. I do a little timbale action going on. Since my setup is completely open, a lot of the times I'll have to be really sensitive to the needs of the house. So I can't just wail all the time. I have to be musical. And then there are the times I can, especially on my loud acoustic instruments. Keep moving, you'll see my djembe and my bongo setup. This is strategically placed so that I can play both, of course, at the same time. A lot of times I'll be playing a song, I'll sneak into doing some cross things. I'll even cross over to congas while playing this. So I have this little hand drum section close to each other, and it's also kind of close and tied into my drums. So I'm using the Roland V drums for my drum set stuff, and what's unique about this is that with my set, everything goes through a computer. in the back right here. So everything's computer sampling as opposed to using the internal sounds of the module, which gives me a more true to life sound because I'm actually using real samples of the real thing. And all the drums are actually set to my playing style. So when I play a soft note to a loud note, it's going to grow with my playing just like a real drum. I wanted to keep with the old style in an old military drum, and of course I add contemporary playing and ways of doing things, but also going back. But it's a contemporary drum, and if you look at it, it's a drum that they made to look like it was in the 1900s, and it's painted to look that way. I didn't want a full Scotty sound with a Scotty unit, but I do use a trick that I do. A lot of times people use guts underneath the top head. I do that a lot as well to get a crisp top head sound, but I use guitar string. And what I like to use is the nylon guitar string that, or the steel nylon guitar string that has like a nylon layer over it. So it's a more classical guitar string, and I put it on the top head and just not too tightly, just nice so I get a nice flow. It gives me a nice crisp head. And since I'm in an indoor environment, I can't pull out. Usually I like using the Hardemans, the big Hardemans, and the Hardeman indoors. Those are nice sticks that I love to fill with from Vic, and that so I can't use that outside because it'll be so dominant in the house and acoustically. So I use the Vic Firth F1 on it. It's got a nice beefy body to it, and it's got a nice round beat, so I get a nice clean articulate attack, and it really helps blend with the ensemble and with the acoustics of the tent. Even though this is a modern circus, it's still a circus in many aspects. The biggest thing is that the drummer's responsibility is really to kind of help punch actions, especially through like they're doing acrobatics, flips and whatnot. I'll actually do fills leading up to and actually punch the ends of actions, flips. It could be anything. Side to side, I have a great perspective of when things come in. Movements that come in, I can really see, but things that are front to back for me, I have a hard time seeing connections and real things. So that's when the TV comes into play. I'll actually there's a camera up there that gives me a feed on the stage, so I can actually see the movements and really punch them. So this really helps me out and really become more precise. I don't want to be guessing when a hand's going to close to catch an object or when someone's going to catch another person. I want my hit to happen right there when it happens, and not any time before. You don't want it to happen and then you hear a hit, or I want it to be right there on it. So that helps me out a lot. Now as we keep continuing around the drums, you'll see that again, I have things set up so I can do multiple tasks at once. Right now, where I'm standing, I stand a couple of times in the show, so I'm right in front of my darbuke. Now, I do play this a little bit differently than normal. I play it horizontally as opposed to vertically, just because of the nature of the show. I don't have time to actually pick it up or anything like that. So with this, if you notice, I'm right beside my drum set again. So my double pedal, I'll actually be playing a kick pattern while I'm playing. Actually, while I'm playing, also I have my rick here set up so I can get some sound. I can also do some zill work. With that, my hand sonic right here, I use the hand sonic in the same regards as my drum cat. I use it for punches and cymbal effects that I can do with my hands while I'm playing. So I'll be playing a groove, and I'll actually do actual punch with it. The sticks that I use pretty regularly is for drum set, I use the Jack DeJohnette's. I love the feel of them. They're a good hybrid of the 5A and the Stream 5A, which are sticks I like. So I use them. They feel great in my hand. Another stick I use is the F1 for some of the snare drum stuff, since I have to keep it low. A lot of times with my personal solo type stuff, when I'm aside from Cirque, I'll use the Ralph Hardeman indoors. which are a great feeling stick in me, especially since I'm getting old. And then I also use the Ralph Hardman, the regulars, for chopsticks and for my pad. So keep me going on that. I mean, I've been using Vic Firth since I started drumming. You know, I think my first pair were the Generals, and I know for sure my first timpani sticks were the T1s. So been using them for a long time now, and they're great sticks because, you know, beginners, professionals alike, they're such a great stick, and they're used by both. So, and the same stick, so it's great, and I love the film, and they're the perfect pair. Well, when it comes to quality, every time I stick my hand in the bag and grab a pair, I always know when I pull them out, the quality is going to be great. So it's almost like a grab bag. I grab them out, they feel great, so I choose Vic.